We do.
We got it. Hi, everybody. Did everybody survive the time change? I hate
wouldn't
it.
say that.
I know.
Not yet. I can't say for sure if I'll survive it.
I know. Why can't we just stay? Does it really have to be an act of Congress for us to just stay in the regular time? I know.
Apparently.
Yeah, something like that.
But since they can't get anything done, good luck.
Good luck getting that changed. Something that seems like super simple. I mean,
something we could all agree on.
Right. I think that could bring us all together.
Well, it's just crazy. I mean, I actually could not remember Dorothy Parker's name the day after the time changed. How do you not remember Dorothy Parker's name?
Right. No, it messes. I don't care which side of it, because everybody says one's harder. I don't care whichever one it is. It messes me up both times. I can't.
Choose one. I'm okay with whichever one.
Yeah, just choose one and let's go. Because I was just feeling funky today. Just I got out of it.
Because the days are short, man.
Right. Yeah, sucks. All right, we got some good book recs, I'm assuming. We got the holidays coming up. I think we got some good things coming. So we're going to go Tom, Gabe, Andrea. So Tom, lead us off.
All right, well, first I'm going to just take us back to last week. I have a feeling I'm going to be talking about still life a lot, but I couldn't say last week what happened the next day, which was it became a Good Morning America pick. So awesome for still life, one of my favorite books of the year. But I have some heavy hitters this week. It's just like the fall, it keeps coming. We haven't slowed down yet. So, Julie, you know this one.
Oh.
Ken Follett's Never. So out tomorrow. It's a big
event tomorrow here at noon.
That's right. On the on sale date at noon with
a baroness,
some kind of royalty.
Yes.
A baroness. That's right.
A Baroness Ashton joining us.
What?
I love it. So. Yeah, that's impressive.
2.5
and I love that Ken Follett is back writing a thriller. So he started his career with, Eye of the Needle and The Key to Rebecca. And so while these are not as, this one's not as, tight. I mean, it's tightly constructed, but it's in the same vein as some of his big sagas. So it's a huge book.
Okay.
But
Dangerous Fortune was a big one. Dangerous Fortune was a big fat one too.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, so that's the kind of book he writes, but they're expertly plotted, of course. And his description of why he wrote this, so it's very contemporary. It's super contemporary. Like it's, what could bring us to World War III and how we might not see the things coming, and then all of a sudden we're there. But he said, when I was doing the research for Fall of Giants, I was shocked to realize that the First World War was a war that nobody wanted. No European leader on either side intended it to happen, but the emperors and prime ministers, one by one, made decisions, each of which took us a small step closer to the most terrible conflict the world had ever known. I came to believe that it was all a tragic accident, and I wondered, could it happen again? So we have the US, we have China, what could go wrong? And this takes it, and the reviews are fantastic. And one thing you can be sure of, you won't really know exactly what happened until the very last page. So Ken Follett's Never, one of the big holiday bestsellers. I'm sure the #1 bestseller first week out tomorrow.
And Ken writes, I mean, he takes a little bit longer to write than John Grisham, but he kind of is that same sort of where it's just like you get sucked in from the very first. It's like you're along for this ride from the very beginning.
He's the one.
And I read an interview with him. I read an interview today with him where he's so meticulous that he wrote an entire financial thriller. Apparently, it wasn't good enough for him. He threw it out. So that's how exacting he is with himself.
Gabe, you're saying?
Just it doesn't matter that he writes a 600-page book. I'm like, do I have time for a 600, 700-page book? But if it's a Ken Follett, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. That's how I feel about him too. He gets you, and I can't wait for tomorrow. Warwick's has ever hosted him anyway.
That's exciting.
So
I've never, he doesn't get around much.
No.
No,
So
he
I'm
doesn't.
super excited that we've got him tomorrow. So if you're
I,
at all interested in buying the book, go to the website and just buy it through Eventbrite, and then you get to see Ken tomorrow at noon. And if you'll get the recording of it too. So there you go. Okay, Gabe, what you got?
So I'm going to start with a big book for us, a big book for America. The new Louise Erdrich is on sale tomorrow. The
Yes.
Sentence. Louise just won the Pulitzer for her last book, The Night Watchman. About time. She's flirted with it. She's been nominated. She's won every major American book award, at least. I have no doubt she'll get even bigger honors down the road. This is, a little bit of a different Louise Erdrich novel, but it still has all the hallmarks of a Louise Erdrich novel. There's a little more magic in this one, and there is a bookstore at the center of the tale, and there is a ghost in the bookstore, and someone who can communicate with the bookstore. So Louise has this really elevated sense of humor. She's just funny, and she writes these amazing literary novels that are really accessible, and she infuses them with amazing characters and great writing and a lot of warmth and a lot of humor. And mostly the last, you feel really good after reading some of these Louise Erdrich books, either because of the characters or because you just read something amazing. And this is no different. This is Louise paying to a bookstore. She owns a bookstore, Birch Bark Books, in Minneapolis. So she's a bookseller herself, and has seen some of the daily things that go on in a bookstore. So I think she's a perfect person to write this. There is, of course, a lot of Ojibwe myth and folklore instilled in this because the characters are Native American. And again, with the stunning prose and great writing and great book crafting and everything that you want in a book. So it's on sale tomorrow. We got a really cool, fun package on it. And I can't wait for people to start reading it and enjoying the new Louise Erdrich.
She's pretty prolific too, isn't she? She writes.
She's gotten that way. Yeah, she's and every book is a treasure. Honestly, just there are people who stumble all the time, and I've never stumbled. And she's been. I mean, I've been on the scene as long as Louise has. I was one of my first LA Times book festivals, book prizes. Louise was there after having won the NBCC for Love Medicine, her very first book.
Yeah. Okay, Beth Johnson's on here asking us, and I'm up for this if you guys are up for this. She wrote that she got Still Life in the mail. You talked about it last week, and she just got it in the mail today and loves the cover.
Oh, awesome.
But she's asking us if maybe we could do favorite books before the holidays so that she can, and we do it in time for them to be able to buy the book. So I'm game for that if you guys are.
I'm down.
I'm thinking
Great
maybe
idea.
we do that. Can we do it next week?
I think it's going to have to be next week just because of,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Because then like Thanksgiving hits, and then if we wait till after Thanksgiving,
we're running out of weeks.
We're running out of weeks to do it, and with just shipping stuff back and forth across the country and stuff. So I'm thinking we should do that next week. Our favorite books.
Let's do it.
And if you have something, here's the deal with it. If you have something that's not released between now and like say the holidays, but it's a preview, they could pre-order and we could still send it out. So
great.
All right, we'll do that next week for you, Beth. All right, Andrea, in this, I love Andrea, very atmosphere. This would have been a good atmosphere if it was like Halloween. You got us going in the Halloween vibe there. Andrea, tell people what you're doing. You're driving from.
I'm driving from, we're just pulling into a camp spot outside of Little Rock, Arkansas, and we're driving back from Silver Spring.
Oh, we lost the campsite.
And you're still able to share a
screen. We've been all
front.
over for 6. As you can tell, I'm in the truck right now. Yeah, well, we'll see how that works. But and you might be hearing Siri giving directions to my partner who's operating the truck right now.
All right,
so
all sounds good.
But I did want to talk
Oh, maybe Andrew should have gone first.
Today about 5 Tuesdays. Oh no, can you not hear me?
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit, but
Can you hear me
just
now,
go
you
ahead
guys?
and go ahead and just plow through and we'll.
Okay, I've got 3 bars right now. So this is 5 Tuesdays in Winter, stories from the great contemporary master novelist Lily King, who just graced us with Writers and Lovers, and Euphoria was another bestseller for her. And these are stories told from the point of view of men, women, gay and straight, and really just covering all of her major themes, relationships, the dynamic between mothers and daughters, inconvenient love relationships, and people searching for home in all of the myriad ways that we do that. And this is out tomorrow. It is an indie pick, an indie best pick for this month. And there is a very large stack at Warwick's waiting for you. It's $27 hardcover, and it's from Grove Press, our big literary press.
They are so good.
Very excited about this.
Yeah, and she's just so good. She's amazing. So love her, and that's another great gift book, because Lily King's writing is, you're not sure what to get somebody, that is an absolute, don't need to worry about it.
Onto Bonnell Park Road.
Because you know
Then
that
arrive at your destination.
you know they'll love it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
So yay, another good one from her. Okay, Tom, what do you got next?
All right, my next book is perhaps like Penguin's biggest book of the year. We'll see how it all shakes out. But tomorrow, Will Smith publishes
Arrive.
Will. And I have to admit, I think probably I'm not the only one throughout his whole career who've underestimated Will Smith. Like, started off as the Fresh Prince, but then, who knew that he would become one of the biggest box office stars in the world? And so with these celebrity biographies, I think a lot of times it depends on how much they're willing to give the reader and give of their time, because they're not writing, they're mostly not writing books. They're doing a lot of other stuff. I can already tell Will is going to be like Matthew McConaughey. He is going to be out there all the time talking about this book. And the other thing that sets it apart is he's really revealing a lot. And he is working with Mark Manson, the author of The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, which was a massive bestseller. And so Mark Manson is the writer who pulled out the stories, who organized the stories. And so to me, that's a sign of Will's seriousness about the process, that he wants a real writer to help him, put it all together. This cover was commissioned by Will Smith, so it's designed by, he picked the artist. So everything is like perfect. And we were supposed to publish it last fall, and I'm really glad we didn't, because I think he's definitely having a moment. About 10 days from now, King Richard, his big movie opens, which is he's the father of Venus and Serena Williams in the movie. And that's going to be his, it'll be nominated for another Oscar. So there's a lot happening. And then there's the media blitz that you're about to experience if you're paying attention. So Oprah just taped an interview with him on Apple TV Plus. She called it the best memoir I have ever read. So there you go. From the lips of Oprah, her quote, it's the best memoir I've ever read. And then after that, Good Morning America tomorrow, The Today Show, Fresh Air, Jimmy Fallon, Trevor Noah. It's going to be everywhere. But most important, I think the book delivers like a substantial book about his life, his marriage, his parents, and his marriage. Most people are interested in his marriage. Mostly people are interested in his marriage. There's a lot here about the marriage. So pay attention and like, again, me underestimating, he's just about sold out the Dolby Theater in Los Angeles for a live in-person event. That's 3,000 people. So there's a lot of excitement out there for Will coming out tomorrow.
That's incredible. I mean, it's
incredible.
Yeah, who knew? But it's one of those things. But I think people are fascinated by so much of his life, and there's still fascination to it.
Who knew? Did you ever watch the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
When that was my age, right? Back when I loved that. Oh, there we got the dog coming in for a cameo.
The dog's in the background. Yes, of course.
All right,
Yes,
this is what I
please
want you
hold
to
on.
think
There's another
about. There's a question I'm going to ask all of you and to think about after we're done with this round. So after Andrea's done, Sarita wants us, can you recommend more animal books like The Ride of Her Life, The Good Good Pig, Elephant Whisperer, Soul of the Octopus? Nothing depressing though. So think about that. And after Andrea's done, we'll go around if you guys can think of something to recommend to Sarita for that.
Okay.
Yeah, what, and Beth's asking who your co-host is there, Andrea. Who you sharing the screen with?
That is Sparrow. Am I muted or no?
No,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
not. You're on. Yeah, Sparrow.
That's our rescue pup Sparrow. She's a darling.
Love it. All right,
Baby
Gabe,
bird.
what do you got next for us?
I got Q. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So
Okay, another name that people are just like, another big fascination.
he's done stuff.
Yeah, he has.
And this is, we did a mass market edition of this early in the year, which just surprised everybody. Everybody was like, oh, I'll just have a handful. And all of a sudden, like, can I get my hands on more? And we're like, we're out of stock because you should have ordered more up front, like I told you. And the battle goes on. So this is a big, large $35 gift edition of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It is the life of Rick Dalton, the career of Rick Dalton. There's a narrative of that story in here. And then there's also a little bit of original script for an inside the book screenplay that's in the book. So that's included here. And then, photographs from the movie. And it's a big gifty, oversized gift book for the holidays. So I think if you have a movie fan, I think Quentin Tarantino is a good place to go. This is his fiction. So it's a narrative, it's a novel, as well as a memorabilia book of the movie, which I found very interesting. I enjoyed it.
Good.
Yeah, I thought it was
liked
pretty
it.
well done. Yeah. I thought it was pretty well done, and the things that he changed.
I love the movie.
Yeah.
Right.
I haven't read the book, but I love the movie.
Yeah, he did some good stuff. I thought the retelling of it all. So, anyways, I thought that's fun. It definitely has its fans. It'd be a nice gift at the holidays, and for any movie buff, gotta have.
I gotta have one. Tom, I have to tell you, was that like a big secret, the Will Smith book? Because I swear to God, I didn't see it on it. I wasn't on my radar at all. It was like the best kept secret.
Well, in a way, I mean, he did keep it kind of close to the vest right up until like we didn't reveal the cover till late, and of course no galleys. So kind of.
Yeah. Okay.
We're springing it on the world right now.
I love it. Okay, you heard it here first. All right. Okay, Andrea, what do you got for us?
Hey, thanks. I appreciate you all like dealing with my situation right now as we bend our way through a dark park here in Little Rock. Okay, so I want to talk about Trust. This is a novel by Domenico Starnone. This is from Europa Editions, one of our excellent literary presses, and they do a lot of work in translation. This is translated by the great Jhumpa Lahiri, who has a afterword here talking about translation. She writes in English. She's Indian. She writes in English her own works, and then she translates from the Italian, and she also can write in the Italian and then translates her own books into Italian. So brilliant is an understatement. Rendered beautifully here by her, and the introduction really is, I think, worth the price of the book, and the novel is excellent too. Starnone he has sort of a lead here in terms of thematics his books, and an aging male character who's looking back at his life and doesn't understand the folly of his ways quite yet. And here we have another professor this time who's remembering an old love, a brilliant student of his that he's had an affair with before he meets his future wife. And he's been worried about her and thinking about her for years, because right before they broke up, they both told each other secrets about that they have never revealed to anybody else, and they're pretty dark. And then days after that, they break up, and he's always worried. He's been worried for 40 years that she's going to tell his secret. And so that's the setup for this book, and it's just absolutely wonderfully rendered. And like I said, the translation is seamless. You would never know that it's translated from the Italian, and that's Trust, Domenico Starnone. And that is out tomorrow, and it's $17 trade paperback.
I love that premise.
Yeah, it's really great.
Because that could like keep you awake a few nights.
So,
Decades.
That could haunt you for a little while.
I think we had very different lives, Jules.
So yeah, it's pretty great. And like as he ages, he becomes he's not a professor, I'm sorry, he's a high school teacher, but he becomes well known for
Oh, that's even better.
yeah, but then he becomes well known for some essays he writes. And
I don't know, Gabe. I think you might be surprised at some of my past. Just saying.
I don't think I would.
Just saying.
I'm not shocked or scandalized, but I mean I think it's pretty great, Julie.
Not at all.
I want to know the details.
Just saying. Okay,
One
Andrew, you
day.
want to pop us off a screen share?
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
And Europa's having a week.
Yeah. Yes. Oh my God. I can't even believe I haven't even talked about that. That is okay. I'm road worn or something. Yes. Europa won the Booker Prize for a beautiful novel, The Promise by Damon Galgut, that I actually talked about here when it published in the spring. So that's another winner.
Yeah, my wife loved it. Deborah loved that book.
Did she love it? Yeah, I haven't read
it.
that one yet, but I love this time of year with all the awards that come out. It's so much fun to see, like, because what I love is like what we've talked, like you said, Andrew, we've talked about it before. It's like we know that these books are coming and that they have that kind of buzz around them. So it's fun to see them when they win like that. Okay, so we're gonna start before we go to our lightning round. We'll start real quick. Did anybody think of a good? I've got one that Amanda reminded me of. For Sarita, your question on there's a book called On Animals by Susan Orlean, and we're actually going to be hosting her next week. And she's hilarious. I mean, I love Susan Orlean, and she just like she just like has a way of drilling down into things. So that's one that I can think of. Tom or Gabe? Tom, you got one?
The only book that immediately came to mind was from a couple of years ago. It was called Spineless, about jellyfish. It was, what's the subtitle? The Science of Jellyfish and the Art of Growing a Backbone, because it's both it's science and it's jellyfish, but it's also the memoir of the author and how she relates to the science. Really well done. So that's a good one I thought of.
Yeah. How about you, Gabe? You got one?
MODOK.
Look at him with his like screen sharing.
Oh my gosh.
You're putting us all to shame, Gabe.
I don't play. MODOK has been one of these books that we published. I mean, look at this cover. We published it. I thought it was like a 30,000 print run, which is, not a huge print run, but it's been around forever and it just took off. It captured everyone's imagination. It was a big hit in hardback and paperback. Been in print forever at Harper. A sweet story. It's my go-to animal book. Love it.
That's incredible.
Beth saying MODOK is awesome. So there we go. Andrea, are you still with us? Do you got an animal book you want to talk about? Or are you? I'm afraid that if she's going to be like, we might be watching like, what's those horror movies that I'm getting a little bit afraid for.
Oh yeah.
Don't go into that park. Don't go to that campground.
Don't go into that park.
Exactly, the campground.
I'm getting a little bit afraid for them. Like she's kind of dropped off and she's in like the woods in Arkansas. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it feels a little bit like the Blair Witch Project.
Blair Witch.
I'm feeling it a little bit there. I don't know. All right. Well,
Wow.
she's kind of dropped off. So let's go to our lightning round and hopefully she'll join us in a minute. We
Well,
might
after
have to
that,
send
I
out,
do
we
hope
might
we
have
hear-
to send out some like,
Right, we need to hear from Andrea before, whatever, even just she's okay.
right.
before the
Text
end of
us, girl.
the call.
Let us know you're okay.
You're okay. Send a signal.
All right, my lightning round pick is Bob Spitz's Led Zeppelin. So look at that cover. Look at that picture. Those were the days, the rock gods,
Rock
Yeah.
gods.
1960s and 1970s. So Bob Spitz is the best, one of the best rock chroniclers. I mean, he actually started in the rock music business. He was Bruce Springsteen. Worked with Bruce Springsteen as a manager in the very, very early days, early 70s. He's a guitarist, so he understands music better than a lot of biographers do. So his books about the Beatles, especially the Beatles and Dylan, those are like classics. He also, a couple books ago, he did a fantastic Julia Child biography, which is just now coming out as a documentary from Netflix. But I digress. So he's covered a lot of ground, but really this is where you trust him the most, Led Zeppelin. So he covers, that from it's authoritative. So from the very early beginnings when they didn't know each other, their upbringing and how they came, and then how they came together, and then how they conquered the world. It's filled with tales. Like whenever I need just like a fun story about debauchery, which occasionally I'll be looking for that, I pick up just about any chapter in this book and it's there. So every holiday season there is a rock bio that becomes the thing. This has to be it this holiday season, I think. So Ann Wilson of Heart, who knows a thing or two about rock and roll, says that Bob Spitz shows Led Zeppelin as the iconoclast they were, grinding the self-consciousness of rock and roll in the 70s into submission without a backward glance. Infamous stories from the road, tales of excess, dominance, and ego are balanced by the band's insatiable desire for heat and beauty. This is the story of poetry and power, rape and pillage, of rock and roll incarnate, a valuable recording of rock art history. So there you have it. Led Zeppelin. You know somebody who wants this book for sure.
For sure.
Just about everybody does.
Yeah. I mean, they're the if you were into any kind of music in the 70s at all, they were leading it.
Right.
I mean, and
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
I'm sure everybody has seen the Heart. You mentioned Ann Wilson, the Heart rendition of Stairway to Heaven from the Kennedy Honors.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
that was amazing. So go Google, go YouTube that, because that's something worth the 7 minutes.
And the fact that this is a band that walked away from it, after going through a lot of things, including the death of their drummer. But incredible story.
Yeah, no, they're definitely iconic. Okay, Gabe, what do you got for us for lightning round?
I have a paperback of Hench is out in paper tomorrow. This is a book that I talked about in hardback, and it performed very nicely in hardback. And I think in paperback, it is going to be a big hit. We really had a lot of fun publishing this. It is about a young woman who is doing basically secretary office work, running spreadsheets for a crime boss. And one day, a superhero crashes through, injures her, causes all kinds of damage. So since she's a numbers person, she starts doing the math on how much damage and carnage superheroes have caused, and she sort of turns the tables. And it's just a really fun world that Wall Shots creates here. And a really spunky protagonist who is, do you cheer for her? Is she on the right side of things? Not always necessarily, but she is. And it's just one of those books that great stocking stuffer. I think the audience is broad for it. It's very fast paced and set in this world of superheroes. So there's that TV show out called The Boys, which is kind of fun. It's a little bit of that mixed in with something else. But a lot of my year of rest and relaxation, it's on the back jacket. But I just thought it was a really fun and original take on superheroes, and and real life and what's going on in society today also. So there's a lot of stuff going on in this book, and it was just a lot of fun. And I think it's a good lightning round pick.
Good. Yep. Always good. And actually that got a lot of love. There's some booksellers at Warwick's that love that book. Gerard being one of them. So Gerard, I think Laura, maybe, I don't know, can't remember, or it might be somebody that actually went off to do her masters or something. But there was some good love for that at the store too. So good. All righty, Andrea, what do you got for our final lightning round pick?
I've got 3 in 1, 1920s, 1930s, and 1940s fashion source book. These are big, chunky, over 500 page volumes that are surveys of each of those like incredible decades in fashion. What a great deal at $24.95 hardcover. Wow. These are beautiful. So I mean, it could be for students of fashion, you know, in formal academic settings, but just for you know, historians and also just fashionistas who are interested in those eras. And I just can't believe how beautifully illustrated these books are. I mean, it's unbelievable. And this is, you know, for $24.95, you can't go wrong, my friends. This is the 30s. I like the 30s ones too.
Those are incredible.
Yeah, and I feel like these are the perfect gift for anyone who's, you know, interested in, like, you know, history, fashion, and design really too. So So there you go. That's the 1920s,
Very
30s,
cool.
and 40s fashion source book, $24.95. And they shipped earlier, but I didn't want anybody to miss out on these. I think they're great.
No. And that's another great gift book thing to have for people. Here, you can take us off the screen share again.
Oh God, see, I always do that. Sorry.
There you go. That's okay.
So sorry.
That's okay. No, it's all good. But those are great because there was something about those years too in fashion. It's like, whether you had a lot of money or not a lot of money, the materials were just so rich. And even if you didn't have, you still dressed in the style. I don't know. There was just something about those years.
Because there was no cheap materials back then. Everything was cotton or wool. You know?
Or like really good satins, like my mother's like wedding dress, and they didn't have a lot of money, but the satin of her wedding dress is just incredible. Yeah, it's amazing. So
yeah.
Love those.
Well, I'm glad you do. I do too. I think they're special. And you wanted animal books, right?
Yeah, you missed the animal round.
Oh, sorry about that.
We were afraid we're glad that you're back with us because you went away for a while. We were afraid like you were in some horror flick, like in the mountains.
No, I had to help get the trailer back into the spot. So you've got to be a good scout out here and like help your partner. So
are you on the Lake of the Ozarks? Is that where you're at?
We're on some lake. I don't know exactly where, but I will give you the full details next week. But Fox and I from Spiegel and Grau by Catherine Raven is
that's right,
a great memoir, and that's $28 hardcover. It's coming out next year in paperback, but plenty in stock, and that's just a fantastic book.
Perfect. All right, everybody. So next week we're going to do our favorites of the year. So I will send I'll send a little bit of a reminder out on that one because I forgot. I mean, I don't usually send you out reminders, but I'm writing myself a little post-it note as we speak, or else I will forget. Fun. Yeah. And I don't think it's too early to do it because like Beth said, or Sarita, I can't remember who asked us to do it. That gives everybody time to actually buy them. So, exactly. And get them for gifts. So we will do our favorites starting next week. And we can always throw in some favorites during the rest of the time too. Let's say somebody's asking here, I wish you would do favorites of all time. That's a whole different one, Sarita. And I think that's actually maybe we do the favorites this year for like gift giving, and then maybe around Thanksgiving or right after Thanksgiving we can do favorites of all time, because that's I was just going through my list of favorites of all time not that long ago.
Yeah, it's always a new book
I'd
for
love to.
somebody. Oh my God, I got so many like obscure books that are like favorites that are
I
obscure
know.
now. They probably weren't back then.
I know,
Huge
but
bestsellers.
exactly. But I like still go back. There's still like A Prayer for Owen Meany. It's like if you've never read that, you have to read A Prayer for Owen Meany. And it's old, it's John
Right,
Irving,
yeah.
but it's just like,
Yeah,
and I forget to go
They're-
back
they're
to
gonna
it
be-
sometimes.
right. And they're going to be those books, those favorites of ours, are going to be new to people.
Yeah.
Right.
People.
I think-
So,
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you everybody for joining us this week. We will see Andrea. Good luck with the camping.
Where will you be next Monday, Andrea? Will you be in New Mexico or you don't know?
No. I think we're gonna be home. I'm gonna be in Bishop, California next
Okay,
Monday.
okay.
So
All right.
yeah.
Well-
It's been a great odyssey, I'll tell you.
I'll bet. We might have
in a
an
beautiful
episode
country.
just on that.
Yeah. We live in a beautiful country. We surely
we do. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining, and we'll see everybody next week. Happy reading.
Bye.